Hi guys and welcome. Today's video is all about the Chantecaille holiday collection that has recently been released. Now it's been a while since I purchased a new release from Chantecaille. I think I skipped the last couple this year, but this one just looked too beautiful to pass up. So I got this directly from Chantecaille and then sent it to a forward shipping address that New Zealand has in America, and then they shipped it to me. I have got all three of the eyeshadow duos and both of the lip crystals, and I'm going to do three separate eye looks for you today. Now I've done my skincare for the morning, put on some sunscreen probably about 10 or 15 minutes ago. I still have to put on some primer. So today I'm going to use the Sisley Primer, and I'm actually going to put on a new to me Chantecaille foundation. So I've tried the Chantecaille cushion one and I have that, and I really like that foundation. And for some reason I never picked up the one in the jar, the gel one. I don't know why. I thought perhaps it wasn't suited to my oily skin. So I purchased it from Mecca here in New Zealand, and I think it arrived last week. I ordered it and then the next day it came, and I've worn it about 3 times since it arrived and I love it. It is a beautiful foundation. And I still have it in its box. So this is the Chantecaille Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation, and I have it in the shade Cream. So I just used the little spatula that came with it was the Chanel, the Sublimage Concealer, because I clean it after every time I've used it, and I just use that to scoop it out of the jar. So this foundation it's a light coverage, and the other thing about this too is that it feels really cooling when you put it on. It just feels really beautiful applying it. So I'm just going to use Sonia G brush just to blend this foundation in. I've also used this foundation with a beauty blender as well, and the way that I use that, just like I did now, I put the foundation on my face first and then blend it in with the beauty blender, and both work really beautifully. I think this foundation gives a beautiful look to the skin. As I was saying, it is more of a light coverage. It is buildable towards a medium, but it's more light to medium coverage. But I just love it how it evens out your skin tone and just gives a very natural looking finish. So that's with one side done. Still got to do this side yet, and I'll probably build it up a little bit just through here once I've put the foundation on the side. I also find with this foundation that it wears really well. It tends to have pretty good lasting power. I've worn it the last 3 times that I've worn it probably at least 10 hours, I would say, probably a little bit more, and it starts to wear off a little bit, but it wears off very evenly as well. You do get some foundations where they can tend to just wear off unevenly as the day goes on, but this one just looks really beautiful. And even though, like I say, you get a little bit of it wearing throughout the day, and I'm talking about after probably 8 hours, but it doesn't look patchy. It still looks very natural, and it just gives such a beautiful look to the skin. So that's with it all on, and as you can see, it is quite a light coverage, not as light as a tint, light towards medium type of coverage, but I do think it gives such a beautiful look, and it's really flattering on my mature skin. And those of you that haven't seen my other videos, I also have oily skin as well, and it just wears beautifully with my oily skin. So I'm just going to add a little bit more through here, just a tiny bit more. So just put a little bit more just through here. And this foundation, when you build it up, it also builds up really beautifully as well. And to set my foundation down, I'm going to use the newly released one. This is the Prada, the Reset powder. And I'm just using the Sonia G brush and just buff that powder in. I got this powder probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I love it. It controls the oils beautifully, and it also has this really gorgeous blurring effect on it as well. It's a really beautiful powder. I thought initially when I saw this, when I saw the promos for it, I thought, oh, it must be a correcting type of powder, but it's not. It's just the shade of it, and it just goes beautifully. So there's no green tinge or anything like that, but it does have a really beautiful blurring effect. And I also love that it's a pressed powder as well. It just makes it, taking it with you, pop it in your handbag, and just I take a smaller brush than this, and then if I see any oil sort of breaking throughout the day, I just open this up, tap it in, and just pop a little bit of the powder on, and it just goes back to looking really beautiful. And for bronzer today, I'm going to use the Chantecaille one. This is a Sunstone Real Bronze, and I only picked this up about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I love it. This is a really beautiful shade. I've always loved the Chantecaille, the one in Goa, and I still have that, and I do reach for that a lot. So this one is a little bit warmer than Goa and a little bit lighter in shade as well, but it's still really beautiful and just gives this really gorgeous sun-kissed look. And because I'm going to be doing 3 separate eye looks, and I want you all to see it with blush as well, I'm going to put on the blush before my eyeshadow today. This is one of the new YSL, the liquid ones. I've spoken about these before. They are really beautiful. These also have a blurring effect as well. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take the Sonia G. This is the buffing brush. They blend out beautifully. I think this one is the shade 44, but everything that I'm putting on my face today, it will be listed and linked in the description box below. I think I put on a little bit too much on that side, so we'll move some product over to this cheek. They are such beautiful, beautiful blushes. So now let's get into the eye looks. As I said at the beginning of the video, I picked up all 3 of the eyeshadow duos. The packaging on these is really beautiful, and it feels almost metallic. It probably is a plastic, but it feels metallic, and it is really gorgeous. It's probably a little bit reflective in the monitor there, so I'll just turn down the lights in front of me and hold it up closer to the camera. So here is a close-up of the packaging, and the design on the front is actually etched in there. It's of different garden flowers. It's really beautiful. And these eyeshadows have a shelf life of 24 months from date of opening. They are made in Italy, and they have 2.5 grams of product. So the first eyeshadow duo, this is Cassis, and this is a matte and shimmer burgundy. Next is Silver Willow, and this is matte and shimmer graphite. And last we have Jasmine, and this is a matte and shimmer. This is a rosy brown. So I'm going to do the first eyeshadow look using Cassis, and here is the shimmer. This is the matte, and the shimmer looks like a duochrome. It has this really beautiful, it's got like a pinky shift to it. So I think all 3 of these eyeshadow duos just look absolutely beautiful, and the eye looks are going to be fairly simple, but I think that's the whole point in just having duo eyeshadows. It's just something you can grab and quickly put on, and you know that it's going to look really good. So I've got my rephr number 14, and I'm going to go into the matte shade first. These swatch, like, they're actually quite pigmented, so, and they are fairly pigmented. So I'm just going to be doing the basic look where I have it darker on the outer corner, take it through the crease and up onto the brow bone as well, and then the rest of the lid I'm going to put on the shimmer shade. So these are blending out really beautifully. I'm just adding a little bit more just to deepen up the outer corner, and I'm just going to blend this out higher up onto my brow bone. So no issues blending that out whatsoever. And what I like about the shade is that it's not too pink, and it also hasn't got too much red in it either, because I was initially a little bit concerned about that when I saw the promo photos. I thought if it throws quite red, then that's not really a shade that I like to wear too much of on my eyes, because just like a lot of other people, it can make your eyes start to look a little bit sore, as if you've got allergies. But this is a really beautiful shade. So I'm just going to take the Sonny G and the pencil one, and I'm going to run this shade under my lower lash line as well. I'm going to take the rephr number 28, and I'm going to go into the shimmer shade. This felt really creamy when I swatched it, so I imagine it's going to go on the eye really beautifully, and it does. That is a really, really gorgeous shade. Just going to pick up a little bit more. Now I can imagine if you wanted it to have even more of a metallic to it, you could wet your brush or even use your finger. But just using the brush dry, that's enough for me, and I think it looks really pretty. So I've just put on a little bit of eyeliner and also a little bit of mascara as well, because I've got to wash this off in it and do the second eye look. But here is the first eye look done. It is really pretty, and this shimmer shade is actually a duochrome, and it's got a gold pink reflect in it. It's really pretty. They also blended beautifully as well. This is a really gorgeous look. And I'm also going to put on both shades of the Lip Cristals as well with each eye look. You may be deciding which of the Lip Cristals to pick up depending on which eyeshadow that you're going to buy as well. Again, just absolutely beautiful packaging. These are made in Italy, and these have a shelf life of 18 months from date of opening. So this one is Aventurine, and of course it has that beautiful sparkle on it. And this is described as a raspberry. And next we have Pink Topaz, and this is described as a dazzling rose. And here they are swatched, Pink Topaz and Aventurine. So first of all, I'm going to put on Pink Topaz. And next I'm going to put on Aventurine. And even though I wiped Pink Topaz off, quite a bit of that sparkle stays on. Now one thing to note with these is that even though it looks glittery, it doesn't feel glittery on the lips. It's actually a really beautiful formula, and I think these are really fun shades. Well, this shade is gorgeous. This raspberry is just absolutely beautiful. And for me, this is quite a bold shade, but I just love the tone of it. It's really pretty. And the sparkles are gorgeous as well. Apparently the sparkles don't go all the way through the bullet, but I can imagine when you put it on, the sparkles that are on the outside, they tend to move over towards the bullet. So I think you'd probably always get at least a little bit of the sparkle, but really festive and really pretty. So I've washed that eyeshadow off, but I have left my mascara and eyeliner on, and I've also wiped the lipstick off as well. So next I'm going to use the eyeshadow duo. That is the one Jasmine. But first of all, I'm just going to swatch it on the back of my hand so you can take a look at it. So this is Jasmine, here is the matte, and this is the shimmer. So I've wiped down my brushes, and again I'm going to start off with the matte shade, and just like with the other one, take that in the outer corner through the crease and up onto the brow bone as well. And then again take that rephr number 28, and now I'm going into the shimmer shade and just put that over the rest of my lid. This looks to be a little bit of gold in it as well, not a lot, just enough just to lift the eyeshadow look. I'm just going to take this on a G. This is the pencil one. Now I still have the eyeshadow from the previous duo underneath my eye, but I'm just going into the matte shade, and I'm just going to run a little bit of this colour under my lower lash line as well. So that is eye look number 2. Very simple to do. The other way you could use these, or if I was going to use them a different way as well, is have the matte shade like I have here on the outer corner, and then put some matte shadow in here and build it up, and just pop the shimmer shade just through the middle in here. I think that would look really pretty as well. So now let's put on the lipsticks again. So I'm going to start off with Pink Topaz. And I think that looks really beautiful with this eye look. Really pretty. And the lips look, they're quite shiny with that sparkle in there. But I don't think that it's over the top. I just think it's gorgeous. And if you were going to a holiday party, then I think these lipsticks are just ideal and really festive. This is a really gorgeous shade. And then go in with Aventurine. And again, I think this is really pretty. Such a gorgeous shade. I do think Pink Topaz, for me, probably goes better with this eye look than this shade here. But it is beautiful. And if you wanted a pop of colour, because this eyeshadow it's fairly neutral, and if you just wanted that little pop of colour, then this is the perfect lipstick. So let's get into the third and final eye look, and this is the one Silver Willow. So I've already swatched this on my hand, so I'll just hold it up a bit closer so you can take a look. So here is Silver Willow. You've got the matte shade here and the shimmer. These have that silver in it, absolutely beautiful. Now there is grey in there, but I would say these are more of a cool toned taupe. Now, when I first saw this collection, this is the colour story that I was drawn to the most. I think the other two looks that I've done are really pretty, but when I first saw the pictures, this is the one that I thought I've definitely got to get, and it swatches really beautifully. So I'm excited to do an eye look. So I've wiped down my brushes, and again, I'm going to start with the matte shade and take that in the outer corner. And again, I've got eyeshadow primer on. I always use eyeshadow primer because I have oily eyelids, and if I don't put an eyeshadow primer on, it doesn't matter which shadow that I'm using, it's just not going to last. So I'm just going very lightly with this to begin with, because I found with the other two eyeshadows that they are quite pigmented. I'm just picking up a little bit more and just add a little bit more depth. But these are very quick and easy eye looks to do, and it helps that the formula is just so easy to blend. A little bit more depth there. And again, I'm going to take this on G, the pencil one, like I used before, and just staying with the matte shade, and I'm going to run this under my lower lash line as well. And just like before, I'm layering the eyeshadows. I didn't wash on my lower lash line. And then again with the rephr number 28, I have wiped it down on my microfiber cloth in front of me, and I'm going to go into this beautiful shimmer shade. That is gorgeous. I thought it might be a little bit too deep, but it definitely has that lightness in there, that little bit of silver, just to elevate the eye look. So this eyeshadow duo is everything that I hoped it would be. It looked beautiful, but I was just hoping that that shimmer would add that lightness just to elevate the look, and it is stunning, really beautiful. Then I'm going to take the rephr number 13. I'm going to go back into the matte shade, and I'm going to just build up this shade in the outer corner, just that little bit more. Basically, this brush is the same as the rephr 14, the one that I love to use all the time. It's just a little bit smaller, and it's a little bit more dense, so you tend to get a little bit more payoff, and it's great if you just want to add just that extra depth, but it's also still got a little bit of fluffiness, so you can still blend with it as well. So I've just added a little bit more eyeliner in case when I was washing off the previous eyeshadows a little bit came off, and just another layer of mascara. So here is the third and final look. And this is just beautiful. It's everything that I thought it would be. It's just gorgeous. So now let's put on the 2 different lip shades again. So I'll start off with Pink Topaz. And I think that looks very pretty with this eye look. Really pretty. And I do love the sparkles that are in there. And now, because it's the 3rd time that I'm using this lipstick, it's not quite as intense as when I first used it, but there's definitely still that sparkle in there. It's really pretty. And now the one Aventurine, this really beautiful raspberry shade. So here is the finished look, the 3rd and final look, and it is just gorgeous. So what do I think of this collection? I think it is absolutely beautiful. As I was saying at the beginning of the video, it's been a while since I picked up a Chantecaille collection, and now I've fallen in love with the brand all over again. These duos are just beautiful, and all 3 of the color stories are so pretty. This is my favorite, and as I was saying when I was applying it, I'm glad that it's got the silver in there. It's enough just to lift the eye look, and then it doesn't look too flat. A really beautiful color story. So this is definitely my favorite of the eyeshadow duos. Probably the next one would be Jasmine, which is the more neutral one, and then the 3rd one would be the one that has got that rosiness in it. Now I still like that one, but if I was going to choose, and someone said if you only could have 1 or 2 of the eyeshadows, it would definitely be this one, and again the Jasmine one that is more neutral. And the other thing with this eyeshadow duo as well, the one Silver Willow, is when you're using the other 2, you can always go into the deeper shades in this one, the Silver Willow, and use it to deepen up the other eye looks if you wanted to as well. So you can definitely interchange them. The lip crystals are really beautiful. I don't think I've ever purchased a lip crystal from Chantecaille before, and the raspberry is just beautiful. It's a really festive look, and I really love the shade, and the one Pink Topaz is really gorgeous. If you love a more neutral shade with a little bit of sparkle in it, then you'll probably prefer the Pink Topaz, but if you want that pop of color, then I think this one is really pretty. So really thrilled that I picked up this collection. I think it is a really elegant collection, and yet has that little bit of sparkle just to give you that glam as well. It is just so pretty. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.